O'Rourke, like many on the progressive left, believe that the key to ending mass casualty incidents is less about security and more about the deprivation of constitutional rights. In fact, he seems incredibly hostile to the very idea of security that might help prevent such incidents. Here he is, by the way, in that same interview, discussing the idea of perhaps allowing teachers to be concealed carriers with additional training on campus so that they can carry weapons onto school as a potential last line of defense against a mass murderer. Watch.
And in terms of arming teachers, I've been listening to teachers in Texas, and they want to focus on teaching the kids in their classrooms not carrying weapons. When police officers have a 31% hit rate, meaning that 69% of the time they don't hit their intended target, those teachers are telling me they're not sure that they're going to be able to be that much more accurate or successful. I don't know that arming teachers is the solution. I think securing those schools, making sure that all doors are locked and locked from the inside, restricting entrance and exit. All of those things make a lot more sense, in addition to getting smart on gun safety, universal background checks, banning the sale of assault weapons, and allowing the CDC to study gun violence in this country so that we can make the best informed policies and decisions.
Many have doubts that O'Rourke's view will be popular with actual people in Texas, especially considering the number of school districts in the state that are, in fact, looking to allow teachers the opportunity to be concealed carriers on campus. Now, his position appears to be in support of banning the opportunity for law-abiding citizens to have the same types of weaponry that a killer will acquire, irrespective of any laws intended to prevent them. And additionally, some would call into question the premise he offers against arming teachers as his operating calculus, that there may be teachers who would not want to be armed is not the determining factor. Data shows that, in fact, there are plenty of teachers who do want this opportunity. We've spoken to them, and at no time has there been any proposal that the schools would or should compel anyone to carry if they do not choose to do so. Not sure how this will play with Texas voters, but whenever you do hear individuals discussing AR-15s and banning them as weapons of war because they don't belong on the streets, I'm very curious as to whether or not those individuals, as Mr. O'Rourke discussed here, I'm curious as to whether or not these individuals would be able to explain the differences between an AR-15 or any other semi-automatic rifle, for that matter, distinct in detail differences, and why the AR-15 should be banned and not any other semi-automatic rifle. Maybe perhaps if he does agree to a debate with Senator Ted Cruz, that can actually, maybe that question can come up. I think they're expected to debate within the next week finally. Maybe perhaps that can be a question that is asked by one of the moderators, if Robert O'Rourke would be able to explain in detail the difference between the AR-15 and such that are on that platform and other semi-automatic firearms, or if he just sees the AR-15 as a use-all term to describe all semi-automatic firearms, as many typically do in such discussion. We'll keep you posted as the election gets closer.